Question 1. The length of a car is 4.2 meters, correct to 1 decimal place. Write down the upper bound and the lower bound of the length of this car. When the question asks for the upper and lower bounds, it is asking for the maximum and minimum values, so the boundary values, for which it would be rounded to the given number at the given precision. In this case, 4.2 is to one significant figure, and we are looking for the upper and lower bounds for which a number rounded to one significant figure would equal to 4.2. The lower bound would be 4.15. Because any value below that would no longer round to 4.2. The upper bound would technically be 4.249 recurring, because any value greater than that would no longer round to 4.2. However, for simplicity, we can just write 4.25. Question 5. 1 year ago, Ahmed's height was 114 centimeters. Today, his height is 120 centimeters. Both measurements are correct to the nearest centimeter. Work out the upper bound for the increase in Ahmed's height. For this question, we are looking for the upper bound of increase. For this, we are not going to take the upper bound of both numbers because that would not be the maximum possible increase. We would actually take the lower bound of 114 to the nearest centimeter, which would be 113.5. And we would take the upper bound of 120, which is 120.5. To find the change in height. For this, we'll take away 113.5 from 120.5, which is 7 centimeters. And this would be the maximum increase in the height, which is the upper bound for the increase in height.
For today, we're going to be talking about bounds. And for this slightly more adapted question, we are going to be looking at the equation V is equal to S divided by T, where S is 2.34 and T is 1.3. And it is asking us to work out the lower bound for the value V. And this means that we need to find the lower bound for both S and T. So, to work out the lower bound for S, we know it's 2.34. We're going to want to see when it will be rounded up and when it will be rounded down. So we can say that X, the lower bound, will be equal to 2.335, while the upper bound will be 2.345. When it will be rounded up, when it will be rounded down. For T, we have X is less than 1.35 and greater than or equal to 1.25. To find the lower bound for V, we're going to want to find both the upper bound and lower bound, even though I said it's both lower bound, and divide it by each other. Therefore, we're going to use the lower bound of S, which in this case is 2.35, and the upper bound of T, which is 1.35, and divide both of those values together. So 2.335 over 1.35. And if we plug this value into our calculator, we will get 1.7296, etc. And since it is asking to round our values to 2 decimal places, we are going to do exactly that. and make this whole thing equal to 1.7, as even if the 9 carries over, this will only be a 3, etc. So 1.7 is our final value.